Via 103.3 FM is the TGF edition of the show, and I'm sure that a lot of you are getting ready for work. Some persons are at work already, some persons are getting ready to move, some of you are in the bus or in the cab or on bike, whichever one you're doing. Just ensure that you're doing the right thing and focus on your locus. Ensure that everything that you do, by all means, by all standard, it has nothing to do with corruption. It has nothing to do with theft that can make you clean. Come out clean, come out plain, and you see that the sky is your starting point. My name is SAMSON OMOTOSHO, and I'm going to drive you through some of the news making headlines this morning on our several dailies. I'm not alone in the studio. I'm going to unveil my guest. Yes, some of you would say guests. Okay, he's no longer a guest. He's a friend of the house. We do that every Friday and Mondays on the show. He's always here too on Wednesdays, so we do that every time. Yes, let's get started already. Good morning, Nigerians. How are you faring this morning? Hope you slept well. Welcome aboard. Yes, we'll take a look at some of the scorecards of our governors and included the president of the country. 29th of May yesterday made it exactly 2 years in office for the president and including governors across Nigeria. Taking a look at their scorecard, what have they done, what haven't they done, what are the policies that are working, those that are not working, and what is it that they need to adjust. All of these and more we'll take a look at this morning. All right, so let me quickly touch on the Guardian newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Guardian, we can see there Ohaneze, others fault Tinubu's scorecard as APC blames past leaders. It's all about blame game again this time. Page 6 has detail of that story. Celebrating 2 years of leadership and progress. We could see there the picture of the president himself, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and also the senator representing Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar, here celebrating his leader at 2 years in office. Also, Atiku, African Development Bank, PRP flag, federal government loan plan despite impressive IGR returns. That's it on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Also, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria man decries over 18,000 job courts, hostile environment. Page 3 has detail of that particular story. Also, Amnesty International says gunmen killed 10,217 persons in 7 states. You can find that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. That's the much we'll be able to take on the Guardian. Let's quickly move on to the Daily Trust newspaper. It's all about the 2 years of office of the president and other governors celebrating his leadership and Tita security. A lot of them are celebrating him. We could also see High Chief Government Away Day. Day, okay, Tompolo, that's Tompolo there, celebrating the president 2 years in office. Also, family loses 12 members, over 50 Almajiris missing. Okay, we could see their family loses 12 members, over 50 Almajiri missing. Niger flood swept away a lot of persons. 12 lives have been lost already, and we have so many missing persons at the moment. Don't forget that Nima warned at the beginning of the year that there was going to be heavy flooding, heavy rain, that we should curtail it. What has the government done about it at several states level? What have they done? Okay, that's it on the Guardian newspaper. I mean, the Daily Trust newspaper, I beg your pardon. Taking a look at the Punch newspaper this morning, midterm review, APC fights back as Labour counters Tinubu's scorecard. You can find that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Ruling party Ribadu defend Tinubu's reforms. Also, NLC-TUC amnesty decry worsening hardship insecurity. Let's see that. Also, 2 years of outstanding service and achievement, a congratulatory message showering encomium on the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Also, we could see that's it on the front page of the Punch. Also, Tinubu's cabinet aviation sector struggles to stay aloft. In turbulent skies. Tinubu's cabinet aviation sector struggles to stay aloft in turbulent skies. That's you can find our story on page 32. Page 32 has detail of that story. Also, WAEC under fire as exam chaos sparks outrage on page 2. Remember that some of the students had to write WAEC in darkness. Okay, it has to escalate till night, and we heard so many stories about the leak, the examination leaking, with leakages everywhere and all of that. How did that happen? Okay, we've seen that over time, but we thought that the administration, or should I say this education sector, has been able to address that particular one. Okay, so moving on to this day newspaper. Total Energy strikes deal to sell interest in Bonga. This Bonga oil field for $510 million. Total Energy strikes deal to sell interest in Bonga oil field for $510 million. Also, Roger Brown, Seplat will redefine Nigeria's gas future through innovation. That's coming from Roger Brown. It says Seplat will redefine Nigeria's gas future through innovation. Also, NLNG launches Human Capital Development Program for $5 billion Train 7 project there. Also, U.S. Federal Appeals Court reinstates Trump's tariff after trade court ruling. U.S. Federal Appeals Court reinstates Trump's tariffs after trade court ruling. You can find our story on page 32 of this day newspaper, celebrating 2 years of leadership and progress. Yes, a lot. You can see Tinubu's speech. Let's take a look at other newspaper making the rounds. On the Daily Times newspaper, 21 dead, dozens missing in deadly Niger flash flood. Page 2 of the Daily Times can give you that story. Okay. Also, Tunji Ojo backs push for early voting right for security electoral workers. Tunji Ojo backs push for early voting rights for security electoral workers. Page 7 has detail of that particular story. Also, Fubara recommits to peace, vows to rebuild rivers. You can find that story on page 12 of the Daily Times newspaper. So while still on the Daily Times newspaper, we could see national development. Yes, National Day of Mourning. CSO slam government in action, says 6,500 killed in a year. That's coming from the page 8 of the Daily Times newspaper. National Day of Mourning. CSO Slam Government in Action says 6,500 killed in a year. Okay, so let's take a look at other story again. Reps Committee summons WAEC over exams irregularities on page 5. You can find our story there. Also, appeal court victory. Ukpebolo counsels Ighodalo to accept judgment on page 5. After the appeal court victory, Ukpebolo counsels Ighodalo to accept judgment there on page 5. Also, Tinubu's addiction to loans, mortgaging Nigeria's future. That's coming from Atiku on page 7. Says Tinubu's addiction to loans, mortgaging Nigeria's future, coming from Abubakar Atiku there. Okay, that's the much we'll be able to see. Okay, let me quickly read the last story and then we'll move on to other newspaper. Immigration nabs a wanted ritual suspect fleeing Nigeria at Semeboda. Immigration nabs wanted ritual suspect fleeing Nigeria at Semeboda. You can find our story on page 5. All right, so for want of time, that's the much we'll be able to take on our several dailies this morning. Let's quickly take a look at the full detail of those stories by going into the real analysis for today. And joining me on the program, as always, like this on the TGF edition of the show, Honorable Femi Adebisi. Good morning to you. Welcome to Press Drive.
You're welcome, Samson. It's good and it's a delight to do it together once again this morning. Well, good morning to you, Nigerians. Happy weekend ahead.
Okay, so happy weekend ahead to all of you. Just like I do say that on a Friday like this, we'll say that weekend is here and rest is near. All right, so that's it. Let's take a look at this story from the Punch newspaper. It's all about the midterm review. APC fights back as Labour counters Tinubu's scorecard. Let's look at this story. Organized Labour on Thursday delivered an unflattering assessment of President Bola Tinubu's 2 years in office, saying his reforms and policies brought nothing but pain and suffering to Nigerians. The Labour movement countered Tinubu's claims that the worst days are over, pointing out that his economic reforms have plunged over 150 million Nigerians into multi-dimensional poverty. In a statement, the Joint Labour Congress President Joe Ajaero submitted that far from renewing hope, his government has merely recycled the same failed neoliberal experiments of the past. However, the All Progressives Congress pushed back against Tinubu's critics, accusing the NLC of misrepresenting the reality. Responding to the criticisms against the president, the APC National Vice Chairman, Southeast, Dr. Ijoma Arodiogbu, said the NLC's evaluation lacked depth and objectivity. Their statement was sponsored. The NLC failed to engage with the real issues and instead chose to grandstand. Arodiogbu said, "It's disappointing to see a professional," he says, "a professional body making comments that sound more like what you'd hear in a marketplace. They ought to consult economists and policy experts before making such superficial remarks," he added. Speaking on Tinubu's midterm record, Arodiogbu commended the president's performance in a national broadcast to commemorate his second anniversary on Thursday. Tinubu touted the benefits of his reforms, saying, in quote, he says, "We are on course to building a greater, more economically stable nation." End of quote. He stated that his administration is on course to making life better for Nigerians. Tinubu acknowledged the pains his reforms have unleashed, adding that he does not take the patience of Nigerians for granted. Today, he says, in quote, "I proudly affirm that our economic reforms are working. We're on course to building a greater, more economically stable nation. Under our renewed hope agenda, our administration pledged to tackle economic instability, improve security nationwide, reduce corruption, reform governance, and lift our people out of poverty. But Ajaero dismissed Tinubu's assertions, stating that the government's failure to move the nation forward had only proved once again that, in quote, he says, you cannot cure a patient by prescribing the poison that made him sick in the first place. End of quote.
Well, the worst time is over, Abi.
Yeah, that's
it. That's credited to our president.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know from which angle our president is coming from. Maybe the president is relying more on the judgment of the people around him, the political elites and his advisors and all that, and not relying on the real thing that is happening, among Nigerians. It's like it's like they are the students at the same time the examiner. So, well, condemning NLC in his judgment, I don't think it's fair, because what NLPs represent is the larger percentage of the active citizens of this country. Most of us belong to that particular body. So, and what he's saying is that Nigerians are not getting it right. So he's asking them to go to the economist in the classroom before they pass out, such judgment. But he has forgotten that the real economists are in the market. The practical ones are in the market. So the theorists who might not actually grasp, what is going on, are there in the classroom that is mentioning. And of course, let me now come back to one Professor Wilson Rumebo, a senior economist. According to his assessment of the midterm performance of His Excellency, that has dropped from $450 billion in 2023 to less than 200 billion within 2 years. He also mentioned the growth rates that are sunk from 7% to 3.4%. He mentioned that, rather than lifting 100 million per year as promised in the campaign, more people are now being drifted into unemployment, and poverty. So, given that, you find out that people are not finding it easy. If you are saying that there is an improvement in the economic reforms, yes, that improvement has to show on people's table at home. And you see, the capitalist approach to economic reformation in such a manner that the poor will keep getting poorer and the rich will keep getting richer, I don't think it's an applause. So you don't have access to bank loans. So the 2022 startup capital cannot take off because nothing is supporting the startups. Should you go to a bank today, you have to pay close to 40% interest rate. So I don't know which business you are going to do in this country and make even 30% of interest. And go to the corporate setup. You have to pay 52% of your profit as tax to the government. Then how do you ensure continuity? How do you ensure expansion? And of course, you can't simply go, like I said, you can't go to bank for recapitalization. You have to pay interest through your nose. So it's like people have been reduced to slaves within the last 2 years, all in the name of economic reforms. What do I mean? 70% minimum wage is slave wage, as against, living wage promised by His Excellency in May 1, 2023. May 1, 2023. That's what he promised on that particular May day before he's swearing in. Okay. So now, combining all those things together, you find out that people are not finding it and people are complaining.
All right.
So not just ordinary men, even businesses are complaining. Bua mentioned that in just one of his plants, he is spending as much as 500 million naira to power at least one of his plants per month. So that cost will be, that particular energy cost will be spread on his production, and which makes it higher. So now tariffs, all those things are on the high side now.
Even the electricity is
high? Energy cost I mean, of course, he can't get energy. Where will he get that energy? Because he has to work 24 hours. So he has to rely on gas and other fossil fuel.
Okay.
So, I don't know what is truly working. What I expected from His Excellency from day one is a bold step that, look, there is zero tolerance as touching oil theft. So once you close that gap, you can imagine how our production will soar up. So at least you meet OPEC quota and at the same time have what you call crude oil reserve. In this country we have oil reserve, but we have crude oil, but we don't get crude oil reserve. So we can't get any for local consumption. So we have to go to the international market to buy, and situation remain the same. Nothing is going on in that direction.
Okay, let's take a look
the oil thieves are there walking along the streets. The ordinary Nigeria, they want to pay back. So all those things put together, suggest that something is not working in the country. So, and you see, rather than the people advising His Excellency, to have a retreat. So, they are now saying that, look, the way you are going, just go ahead. No, of course, I think His Excellency, for the benefits of his credibility, needs to pause a while and reflect. Yes, can we go ahead with all this reform? Do we need to to relax? Do we need more input? Do we need, that's what I feel His Excellency need, rather than all this highballing here and there.
Okay, let's take a look at this particular story. Political heavyweights plotting to stop Tinubu in 2027. We have so many stories to touch on. As Nigerians continue to battle inflation and rising cost of living, the political arena is heating up for the 2027 election. President Bola Tinubu, who came into power in 2023, now faces growing opposition from influential political figures seeking to block his bid for a second term. Amid widespread public dissatisfaction and perceived policy failures, a broad coalition of political stakeholders is already taking shape, united by a common goal to unseat Tinubu. Critics of the president accuse him of implementing policies that they describe as anti-people, failing to alleviate economic hardship and allegedly attempting to steer Nigeria toward a one-party state. In their view, the current administration has not only fallen short on promises, but is pushing the country further into distress. It was gathered a list of some of the prominent figures and groups positioning themselves against Tinubu's re-election bid. Below, we have Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election. Of course, I don't want to read much about that because of time. Obi remains vocal. We know what he has been doing. And Atiku Abubakar comes to mind as well. He's one of the vocalists. Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State, has not been ruled out of his own presidential ambition as well. We also have Nasir El-Rufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, also not ruling himself out of the opposition, telling, he wants to actually force this present administration out of office, saying that he has failed woefully. Babacha Lawal is also one of them. Another prominent voice in the anti-Tinubu bloc is Babacha Lawal, the former secretary to the government of the Federation. Don't also forget Rotimi Amechi, and Liel Imoke. Also, these are prominent guys, former governors of their various states. One is Rotimi, which is River State, and Liel Imoke of Cross River State. Also, we have Ralph Nwosu, African Development Congress chairman, and we also have so many of them like that. I have not seen the names of those that have not declared openly their stance against this particular government. We know some of them are in the party, but then they are not happy with how it's going. Now, from your own look of things, from your own perspective, what do you perceive? So many persons have accused this government of calling it an elite government. That is, those at the top are the ones gaining from this government, but those are the lower, the lower cadre are the ones suffering for it.
You see, Nigerian situation is so unfortunate. It has been garbage in, garbage out. I don't think I'm seriously interested in any coalition that is interested in wresting power from the current administration. I will be interested in a coalition that is genuinely committed to restructuring of Nigeria. Because one, what births good governance is good politicking, is good political arrangement. If you don't get that in place, you cannot get the best of economy and you cannot get good governance. So what are the commitment of these people towards, reconfiguration of our country, Nigeria? Do they get that kind of pedigree? Are they coming from that kind of direction? If they are not, then of course you are going to even get something worse than Tinubu if Tinubu is removed from office. Okay, who are they? The articles. What had been their pedigrees? Mention them, all of you been mentioning them.
Peter Obi.
Yeah, Peter Obi and all of them. They belong to the same capitalist society
Amechi.
that have led us to this kind of dungeon we find ourselves today in this country. So, if all of them are coming from the same direction, and then one is reading power from the other, then what is likely to be the outcome that will be of benefit to the ordinary man on the street? So that's why I think I am losing interest in that particular coalition. In the best interest of the as a good citizen of Nigeria, I think I am more interested in a coalition that wants to ask the government to pause a while and reflect. Yes, we need to restructure. That is the first thing to do if you are a good statesman. You see, you cannot keep going in this kind of direction and expect result. That is the bitter truth. And I'm very sorry for we Nigerians. Most of us we are thinking that it is human being that can perform magic. No, I don't think so. We need to build institution. And if failure to build in this institution and get things reconfigured, then of course I think Nigeria will keep on wallowing in misgovernance, and we keep on oppressing one another. Right. I don't think I'm seriously interested in that particular coalition. I don't think, because it will not give us anything meaningful.
All right, so we'll go for this quick timeout. We'll be right back.
Unlock your child's reading potential. Introducing Bookworm Empowerment Children Literacy Center. We nurture a love for reading and learning in children for lifelong education with technology assisted in teaching learning to read and reading to learn. Expert instructors with a passion for teaching reading. Personalized reading learning plans tailored to your children's needs. Fun, interactive and engaging learning environment. Small class sizes ensure individual attention. Regular progress updates and parent-teachers conferences. Our program consists cognitive and technical reading skills, phonics, phomic awareness, fluent reading, decoding, vocabulary, comprehension. Enroll your child at this very excellent period. Contact us to register your child right now on 0802 351 9154. Address GAF Building by Keto Petrol Station, Orogun, off University of Ibadan, Second Gate. Empower your child with the gift of literacy.
Buying the right product is inconvenience. Either you're buying for your business or home use. Femiel Multiventures, your ultimate shopping destination, stands out when it comes to meeting your event and family needs. Explore our wide range of products and services today. Buy affordable wholesale foods and drinks for your next event or home use. We are also the best blog to get your rentals, chairs, plates, spoons, tables, coolers, drums, and all you need for your next event. At Femiel Multiventures, we also sell solid, durable, and affordable ice blocks to keep your drinks cool and refreshing. Come one, come all to also try our eatery and experience delicious meals like never before. You can find us at number 1 Pineapple Area, Iletutun, along Oki Ogunbade axis. Telephone 0912 345 4561 or 0904 254 5770. Femiel Multiventures, your one-stop shop, evidence of things not seen.
In 2024 governorship election conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The appellate court made a declaration in a judgment delivered by Justice Mohammed Danjuma in the appeal brought before the court by the People's Democratic Party and its governorship candidate Aswe Gudalu. The three-member panel of the appellate court, in a unanimous decision, dismissed Igodalo's appeal, describing it as devoid of merit. Justice Danjuma held that the PDP and Igodalo failed to establish a miscarriage of justice in the judgment of the Edo State Election Petition Tribunal, which had earlier dismissed the petition of the two appellants. Now, let's take a look at this story. Igodalo, we have seen our elections many times being decided by the judiciary. It's no longer in the hands of the electorate where they concluded there. The two question is the two sides of the coin. One, must we go to the tribunal? I mean, must you head to the court before a decision, or an election will be, must elections be won at the court? And secondly, for those who had been defeated, can't they just accept defeat and move on?
Oh, well, of course, it's unfortunate when you don't have things moving in order. When you don't have, sustainable and practicable electoral heart in place. So, I mean, where you have lacuna here and there, of course, people will take advantage. And then, of course, you have to head in the court. And when you get down to the court, it's so unfortunate that we will have to hold our judiciary responsible in certain cases. But if you don't go there, I mean, of course, you won't have problem with them. But of course, they are not seriously the one at play. I think it is a special interest. So if the special interest shows interest in election cases, of course, plenty will keep winning. And if they don't show interest, of course, I think they will keep on losing. And the matter gets worse in the situation whereby the first defendant, INEC, happen to be the custodians of evidences and exhibits. So how will you win? So it's difficult to win election cases in Nigeria. So difficult. I think as well Igodalo, well, of course, I won't ask him to stop, back out. So let him continue, and I wish him the best of luck.
Maybe they'll be heading to the Supreme Court this time.
Yeah, of course. That's the tradition. Yeah, so.
Don't you think that's a waste of time and money? Because you already know who is going to win, who is a winner already. The appeal court has given the order. The high court in the state has ruled.
Let me tell you something.
So why waste money?
Look, let me tell you, they even gain more money. Most of these people are sponsored. They don't spend their money. So the more you pursue, the more you get more money and save more money. So let's close that anyway.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at 21 killed, 10 missing in Niger flood disaster, which is, this is not really a good one. A major flooding in the early hours of yesterday ravaged the sleepy town of Mokwa in Niger State, leaving no fewer than 21 feared dead in the downpour. The tragic flooding coincided with the second anniversary celebration of the state governor Muhammad Bago. The flood disaster also resulted in widespread destruction of property apart from human casualties. The Director General of the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Baba Hara, who confirmed the disaster on Thursday, said 21 corpses had been recovered, and while 10 persons were still missing, he also said that Nsema, that is Nsima, is in receipt of a report of a deadly flood disaster that ravaged two communities in Tifin Maza and Anguan, Hausawa, and Mokwa town of Mokwa local government area. The incident occurred during last night during torrential rain of very high intensity that lasted several hours. The surging flood water submerged and washed away over 50 residential houses with their occupants. In response, the agency, in collaboration with the Mokwa local government authorities, divers and very brave volunteers, conducted a search and rescue operation to rescue survivors and recover corpses. At present, 3 survivors, a woman and her 2 children, are receiving treatment for wounds and shock at the Mokwa General Hospital. 21 corpses have so far been recovered of those who sadly lost their lives in the incident, while other 10 persons are still missing. Baba Hara stated the DG also disclosed that the search and rescue operation was still ongoing as of press time.
Oh, well, while I commiserate, with the families of the victims, I still want to drum it now that what you call natural disaster is inevitable. But of course, many of them are preventable. We are having it bad because, our government failed, in various regard to, mitigate or probably prevent, occurrences. So that's the problem. Yes, it happened in Ogun State recently too, and even a part of Oyo State, especially a rural road where the new road is being constructed. People are not having it, they are not having it good in those regards. So I think the government, we need to plan. We need to make use. We need to, get the best out of, God's endowment. Rainfall is part of the thing God has given us as a blessing. So why can't we just probably do a kind of channelization? Why can't we just build more of dams so that you channel most of this water to your dam and make use of them for, year in, year out agricultural,
even
power supply and all that. So what happens to our river basins? Most of them are just, wasting away. We are not, tapping or making the best out of those river basins. So there are a whole lot of things we can do to make sure that at least we get the best out of rainfall, rather than rainfall becoming a kind of disaster to us.
Okay, let's quickly touch on the story. I want us to be very quick. We have 2 stories to go, so we can open the phone lines as quick as possible. Residents flee as herdsmen launch a deadly attack on Benue community. Several persons are feared dead and many others injured following a deadly attack by suspected herdsmen on Agon community in Makurdi, the Benue state capital. Sources said the attackers stormed the community around 6 p.m. yesterday, shooting sporadically and setting houses ablaze. Agon is located just a few minutes from Makurdi. As the attack persisted without any security intervention, residents were forced to flee for their lives. What is happening in Makurdi? Particular Benue State has been the heart of attack in recent times. Many lives feared dead.
It's so unfortunate. Government will keep on demanding patriotism from the people. Yet, the government does not show or give responsibility to the people. So they are holding on to power without responsibility. So if you cannot guarantee my life, my safety, my well-being, my security, some people want to argue of what use is my tax.
Samuel Otom ran for his life when he was governor.
A sitting governor then, he ran barefooted for almost a kilometer. And of course, we did not declare state of emergency in our security. And of course, up till now, do you know that as at now officially, we don't have terrorists in this country? Do you know that? Because no group has been declared to be terrorists in this country.
Headsmen.
So you call them bandits and insurgents. And when you are talking about insurgents, of course, if you want to buy arms and ammunition from the superpowers, they won't sell to you. There is a limit to which they can sell to you. If you tell them that you are fighting terrorists, of course they will ask you, who are the terrorists in your country? And say, no, we don't have terrorists, we only have insurgents. They will tell you that, look, we can't sell that to you to go and fight your own people because they are insurgents. So, but if you are saying that if you declare them as terrorists, then we'll get to know officially the one we know. Though America has declared Boko Haram as terrorists way back, as far back as 2013, they have done it. But in Nigeria, we are yet to do that officially.
Okay.
So it's like we don't know what we are doing. So and of course, the government keep referring to them as terrorists unofficially. So we need to know: do we get terrorists in this country? If we do, then of course, what are the factors that are responsible? In what manner can we approach it? What are the kinetic and non-kinetic approach we can, But of course, what do? Most of our experienced soldiers, we keep sacking. Do you know that the government of Buhari sacked as much as 80 generals? And this government in the last 2 years have sacked as much as about 113 generals without cause, because you are bringing in somebody from the rear. So the experience that you have trained to fight, to give command, you are sacking them. Then of course, those people will be employed indirectly by the opposite camp. The people that are financing us, they'll be used. If you don't know how to make use of them, the other party, your enemies will make use of them. So I think we need to rethink our strategy.
All right. Okay, let's quickly just talk about this in the space of 1 minute. Hardship and bad governance movement fixes nationwide protest for June 12th.
No. I think I always disagree with this end bag of governance thing, because one, they will keep making matter worse for the ordinary man because of the disruptions of economic activities, wastage of economic hours. So yes, of course, if you have a group that has done a kind of wider consultation and all of us now come into agreement and say, look, let us end it. If we come into such agreement, we are going to end it, because it is going to be true. It's going to be truly mass protest, not just selective protest they used to have. So, have they contacted me? Have they talked to me? So we need wider consultation first before we can say we want to go on the street. All right. So I don't think I key into that. Okay,
so studio lines officially open 0705 500 1033 or 0905 444 1033. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
My SAMSON.
Morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine.
My honorable.
Good morning, sir.
Yanko.
Adupe Barika Jima, sir.
Akoraji, sir.
Yes, sir.
I am Evangelist Sola Taiwo from Bill Kwaraba. To me, Evangelist Sola Taiwo, this is the most unpopular government in Nigeria so far. They are just making Baba Tinubu on the say. He has spread woefully. No security. People, yes, he has said it. He has spread. Let's tell the truth and say our mind. He has spread. No enjoyment, no electricity, no water, no anything. And you are scoring him very high. Who does that? Those that speak part from this nonsense are scoring him very high. The masses is feeling the pain. We say the truth. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for calling the radio. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning. Baba, Honorable.
Good morning, sir.
You know me do that you are on the line. Please, I want to ask a question. Is there nobody can Tinubu speak and interview? Who is the person to interview Tinubu on television? At least let Tinubu speak on television for at least 2 or 3 hours, so that people will be chatting. One man say beg down, one man say beg down, then your man sorrow. So my
Hello, good morning.
Even during the campaign, our president was not available.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, look at it.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Baba. Good morning, comrade.
You're
welcome,
My
sir.
comrade.
Yes, sir. I agree, Honorable.
Good morning, sir.
But I will disagree with Honorable this morning
All right.
on the issue of coalition.
Okay.
We need that coalition.
Coalition
At
without
least to
direction.
take, President Tinubu away to assert our sovereignty in democracy. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, I don't say there shouldn't be coalition.
Hello,
But
good morning.
Coalition without direction, I will not key into that.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning to you, Tolu.
Yeah, good morning. Hold on.
Yeah, good
I
morning.
agree journalists today.
Yeah, good morning.
You see, coalition would have been the best way to send the APC federal government packing cost 2027. But with the way they are going about it, and with them not ready to jettison their ambition and do the right thing, I don't think they can have any studies this thing. To dislodge this APC federal government. And that is why I continue to say that all these opposition parties should be blamed for the failure of APC. Because if they had done their the needful and put their houses in order and put this government on their toes and did the needful, maybe, just maybe, this government would have done better. Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Thank you so much.
For the perfect spot to host your next event, or maybe a cozy place to relax and have some fun, welcome to Fenian Multipurpose Hall. Whether it's a wedding, birthday, seminar, or family gathering, our event center is perfectly designed to give you a grand experience. You can as well watch football matches at our viewing center, which brings the stadium experience right to you. For the kids, our children playground is packed with fun and safety. We also have a game center with varieties to keep the fun going, and a guest house for relaxation and comfort. Why settle for less when you have the best? Located beside Eagle Flight Academy, Amero, along Oki Ogungbade axis, Ibadan. Visit Femiel Multipurpose Hall today or call us on 0912 345 4561 or 0904 245 5770 for bookings and inquiries. Femiel Multipurpose Hall. Experience more, enjoy more.
All right, so welcome back. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir. This is Prince Bumi Adefusi calling from Apata. It's coalition that brought the current administration led by APC into power.
Yeah.
But I can see that they don't want that coalition to stand. That's why they've been plotting. And this affected President Bola Tinubu because he does not focus on governance, but politics, which is affecting his administration. He didn't plan for governance at all. He just said just to be in power and others. You see, the administration of this government is inflicting more hardship on the commoners. Seriously. And they still believe that he's laying foundation. That he's laying good foundation. Foundation of what? Foundation of insecurity or foundation of increase in petrol price. If you know the custom duty now, you want to buy car now, the custom duty will kill someone. So let Mr. President focus on what we voted for him for. Other than politics, enough is enough. Good morning.
All right, thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's take this call and then I go to Facebook session.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Dr. Famiwa. Morning to you, sir.
My professor, my honorable, good morning, sir.
Good morning, my doctor. How are you, sir?
Thank you. Now, on the issue of UK, is it difficult for him to be suspended? I don't know why PDP is finding it difficult to suspend him. That's number one. Then on the issue of this coalition or no coalition, with Tinubu that I'm seeing now, no matter the coalition that they are making, it cannot work. Because this man is a strategist to the extent that no coalition that can work as long as you can see in his own camp. Thank you. God bless you. Good morning.
All right. Thank you. Let's take another call. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, so, well, let's take... Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
You still comprehend the job for Molodo.
All right, quickly.
President Tinubu has shown considerable display for the welfare of Nigeria by removing the subsidy and floating of Naira without any plan to mitigate the hardship. He has violated the section 2 of Nigeria Constitution that guarantees the welfare of Nigeria. So, he doesn't deserve to be on that seat. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, you have made your point. Hello, good morning.
That's a comrade for you.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
This is Miriam from Odeja.
Miriam, you're welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my sister.
Yes, sir. As regards flooding, sincerely, not only going to destroy life, but also property. This is where our governor should always be proactive. They shouldn't wait till things, the worst happens before they do the needful. So I only urge them to please do more in governance. They should dredge the waterway, expand our rivers, so as to avoid these incidents that keep claiming lives on a daily basis. That's what I'm doing.
All right, thank you so much, Miriam, for calling the radio. Okay, 0705 500 1033 or 0905 444 1033. You can call any of those lines right now. Hello, good morning to you. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good.
Honorable Femi.
Good morning, sir. How are you, sir?
I pray that may God Almighty be with you, uphold you and bless you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
My name is Edali Kapolabi from Adogba Palace Compound.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
To me, those politicians grouping themselves together to unseat Baba Tinubu, our president. in 2027. To me, it's an effort making in futility because.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
sir.
we are with you.
Because an effort making in futility. As they are birds of the same feather that flies together. They are not doing this thing with sincerity of mind. As a result of that, they cannot go so far. Don't sit, Baba, Tinubu.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so let's get from other callers 0705 500 1033 or 0905 444 1033. Hello, good morning to you. Hello?
Mr. Samson.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Pastor Ayodele.
Yes, sir. I was so nice, sir.
Yes, it was good. Thank you.
My eloquent and erudite honorable. Good morning, sir.
I'm blushing. Good morning, sir. Thank you for the compliment.
Articulate honorable. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. My pastor. You're welcome,
I was so
sir.
nice, sir.
Fine,
Yes,
thank you, sir.
God bless your source of wisdom.
Yeah, much welcome, sir.
Amen. Amen. Pastor Odile speaking from Alakia.
You're welcome, sir.
About this issue of coalition, I like one statement, I admire one statement you made this morning. That what we need is maybe a parliamentary system of government, something related.
Hello?
So,
okay, we can hear you. Quickly, sir. Quickly.
Because.
Oh, the thing's breaking.
Okay, I think your line is breaking from there.
Mobilize. Are you hearing me, sir?
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you now.
This on this coalition. This is how this politician will continue to mobilize because of their own personal interest. What happened? This is APC was a conglomeration of some other political parties. What is the essence of it? So I pray, and I'm praying, I will keep on praying. We need better alternative to this democracy, which is monocracy. Government of the airlines, by the airlines, and for the airlines. And God will help us to change them and give us the better option. Good morning.
Okay,
morning,
thank
sir.
you so much for that. I've been trying to retrieve some of our comment on Facebook. I don't know why it keeps knocking me back. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning to you.
Coalition. How are we going to get the right person to govern this country by 2027? Let them unseat this man. The country is not so easy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see, coalition on seat.
Okay, sorry, sir. I needed to quickly take this comment on Facebook. Boluwatife Ademijuwon says, floods devastate lives and properties. I urge our governors to be proactive, not reactive. Dredging waterways and implementing preventive measures can mitigate a flood disaster. Governors should prioritize these to safeguard lives and properties, and I implore Governor Makinde to do more in that regard. The last day, Abib Kamadukwe said, well done from Okwayemi area, Gbagi Ibadan, sir. Thank you so much for your comment. Also, Tolu Alashade Tola says, a responsible government will always protect its citizens and ensure that they are living comfortably, but it's a pity that the APC government has no empathy for the masses and keep driving an average Nigerian in abject poverty. Omade Adekunle says, on Mr. President's scorecard, it seems he's unaware that many Nigerians are suffering under his government through their policies. They are causing hardship in the land. They should please let the poor breathe. Thank you so much, Omade Adekunle. Thank you, Tolu Alasha Adetola. Thank you, Olashinde Abib Kamadupe, Boluwatife Ademijuwon as well. Thank you so much for your comment on our Facebook page. We appreciate you for that. Okay, so that's the much we'll be able to take today. I can see the phone lines buzzing. Let me just take one, and then we're done for today. Hello, good morning.
SAMSON, OMOTOSHO.
Morning to you, sir.
To meet the condition.
Quickly.
How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Baba,
Yeah, good morning, sir.
yeah, wonderful. Just to say hi.
Okay.
This was coalition.
Yeah.
The people that are forming this
they are people of questionable character.
That is my problem.
And they are Tiku. These people, they are to be found somewhere. If